As president, I will sign a massive increase in Border Patrol and a colossal increase in the number of ICE deportation officers. Just so you know, these are incredible patriots. You know, I know some of the people sitting up here, and they're tough guys, but they don't want this job. They will walk into a gang from Mexico or from El Salvador, and they'll run in and they'll start throwing and fists and fighting. And I said, do you really like doing that? You know, this guy right over here, my friend, he doesn't want to do it. He thinks he's a tough guy. He's not tough. These guys are incredible patriots. And they would grab him and they would take him out. You know, the MS-13 guys, they would, not so long ago, they killed 2 young 16-year-old girls walking to school. And they didn't do it with guns because that's too quick. They used knives and they cut them up and sliced them up. And they did it that way because it was more painful and it was slower. And these are the people we have living here. And the ICE people, they go in and they take them out. And they either throw them in jail or they bring them back to the country, depending on the severity. And they are great, and they're great patriots. And they get scorned. They're scorned by the radical left. They're actually scorned. The job they do is incredible. I'll ask every state and federal agency to identify every known or suspected gang member in America, and every one of them that is here illegally. And everybody knows it because your local sheriffs know who they are. This sheriff knows every bad person in your area. But it's politically incorrect for him to say that. But this guy doesn't mind. He doesn't mind being politically incorrect. But he knows, you know, the good ones, the bad ones, you know where they are. You can't just bring people in for that. But the local law enforcement knows. But we'll pack them up and immediately take them out of a country, and we will deliver them to the country of origin, the country from where they came. Before I arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after I win the presidency, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled. It'll take 24 hours if it's not done before then. What a shame that is. What a shame, what a shame, what a shame. And the numbers, the deaths, and the people are being so horribly injured is far greater than what they're reporting. They blow down the city, buildings all over. The building, it looks like a demolition site, and which is exactly what it is, and so many people are being killed. And then they'll say, 2 people were injured. No, many people are killed. The numbers are far worse than is being reported. It's a horrible thing taking place. I could get that thing settled. It would have never happened if I were president. 0 chance. And even the Democrats admit that. Even the Democrats say, no, if Trump were president. And President Putin knows, couldn't do. We used to talk about it. He said, can't do it. You're not going to do that. And he was never going to do that until I left. And then he said, well, and you know what happened? He watched what happened in Afghanistan. When he saw that horror show in Afghanistan, the way we took our soldiers out first, you don't bring the soldiers out first. You bring the soldiers out last. First you get your people out, then you get your equipment out. They kept $85 billion worth of equipment. And now now Afghanistan is the 2nd largest seller of arms in the world. They got 700,000 rifles, machine guns, and guns. 70,000 vehicles, many of them armor-plated. You know how expensive that is? There's no car lot in the world, but in this country, that has more than a few hundred cars. 70,000 of the most sophisticated vehicles in the world. We handed it to them. Night goggles. They have better night goggles than us, brand new, never taken out of the box. You know, they're good fighters, but they never fight at night because you couldn't see at night. Now they can see. And I dealt with Abdul. He was the leader. I said, Abdul, I was very proud of this. I said, and the press hit me hard. You know, the press was saying, why are you calling the terrorists? I said, because, you know, Jesse James, the bank robber, they said, why do you always rob banks? He said, because that's where the money is, right? Why do I speak to Abdul? That's where the problem is. Abdul is the leader of the Taliban. And I said, Abdul, nice to talk to you. I said, but listen, if you kill any more of our people, because they were going to town, the snipers, they were going to town on our people during the Obama administration in particular. They were knocking them out one after another. And I see the end result. I'd go to Walter Reed, which is so incredible, the doctors and the job they do, but I'd see what was left, what these people, what the parents went through with their beautiful son, sometimes daughter, just decimated. And the parents are they don't even believe it when they're standing by the bedside crying. They don't even believe what happened to their child. I said, Abdul, if you kill any soldier, we are going to hit you harder than any country has ever been hit in the history of America. We're going to hit you harder. And we went 18 months without one soldier killed in Afghanistan. And then we had the election, and the other side came in, and we lost a lot, that day, that horrible day where we took the soldiers out first. Remember that? That was a horrible day. I think it was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And when Putin looked at that, he said, this is my chance. These people are incompetent. This is my chance. It's just incredible. But I was very proud of that. Think of that, 18 months without one soldier being... Biden actually put it in his speech, and they were screaming at him, don't say that. That's good news for Trump. But we did a good job with this administration. You could end up in World War III because they don't speak right. They don't send the messages out right. They act tough when they should act nice. They act nice when they should act tough. Honestly, they don't know what the hell they're doing. We're going to end up in a world war over this stuff. We could end up in a major war. Well, you could end up in a major war with China or others. There are others out there a lot sooner than people think. And, you know, we have a word called nuclear. Nobody was allowed to use that word. For years and years, you couldn't use the word nuclear because it's devastation. And now they're talking about it all the time. It will be a nuclear war. It'll be a nuclear war. You're not even allowed to say it. I had people come down from MIT and tell me about nuclear. The power is so enormous. So this is not like the Second World War where we have army tanks and rifles and we go after each other. This is a level that will possibly end the world. And we have people that don't know what they're doing. We have people that truly have no clue what they're doing. And you see it just like I do. You see the same language. They say the wrong thing. Sometimes they're much too tough, but always on the wrong subject. And sometimes they're weak as hell. Like when Biden said initially on Afghanistan, well, he could go in and maybe take over some of the country. That was not a good signal. That was not a good signal. People said, did he really say that? But we have inflation. These are all self-inflicted wounds, much worse than wounds.